Very pleased to welcome two of the big stunt performers from Doctor Who, from New Who and Classic Who. And of course, they're not just stunt performers, they've done lots of other things as well, and they're going to talk to us about those this afternoon. So, please welcome to the stage, Derek Martin and Andrew Burford. Do you want a chair?
I don't mind, yeah.
Yeah, have a chair. I think that one works.
Thank you, yes, it does.
Hello, hello.
There we are, Andrew. Good.
Hello.
So, same format as this morning, if that's okay. So I'll just kick us off and then lots of questions, please. And do wave, because I'm aware that my field of vision is concentrated all over here, and if you're not, you're taking pictures of me. That's very nice. If you're over here and I'm not picking you, just wave your hand frantically and I will remember. So, gentlemen,
Can I start off saying
yes,
something?
Please do.
First of all, the difference between me when I was doing stunts and Andrew. Years ago, if you could run through a brick wall and still stand at the other end, you became a stuntman. Now, they're finely tuned. You've got to be good at everything. Anything athletic you've got to be good at. And it's fully rehearsed and everything else like that. That's the difference now. Finely tuned athletes and silly old fat sods like me years ago. So that's all. That's just to put you straight how different it is now to what it was. Yeah.
I must say, we do lack a bit of courage that you guys used to have. We wear pads now, and you guys just went out there and did it.
Because we thought of the money.
But you don't have the jumping from great heights onto huge piles of cardboard boxes. Do you still do that?
Yeah, we still do that.
Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's very dependent on the performer and the coordinators, and also the space that's dictated in where you need to fall. So, for example, a chap last year did 100-foot fall into cardboard boxes because the space was so tight you couldn't fit a big enough bag.
Yes.
So
but you use bags now, not cardboard boxes.
Yeah, mainly bags, just because they just refill with air straight away, so you can do takes quicker and quicker. Whereas boxes need to have, 150, 200 boxes on standby.
Yes. Yes, and it's possibly a silly question to ask, but it's sort of hoping that you can use it as an opportunity to open up. So, did you always want to be a stuntman, and were you always a stuntman? I mean, obviously you went to school and stuff, but...
From my point of view, no. I started off in 1962 as an extra on Z-cars, and I always wanted to be an actor, and I wanted to get to Hollywood. I got as far as Heathrow. That was it. But, our friend Derek Ware, as you know, used to run Havoc, who did all the stunts and fight arranging on the early black and white Doctor Who's. And he said to me, "You can ride?" I said, "Yeah." "And drive?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Come and join my stunt team." That's how easy it was in those days. But no, I've always wanted to be an actor, and after I broke my collarbone on Elizabeth R in the last episode...
How did that happen?
Doing a horse fall. As always, it was supposed to be Queen Elizabeth sent the troops into Ireland, and I was riding at the front with armour and stuff on, and a shot rings out. I come out of the saddle, bosh. But as always, director said, "Derek, that was lovely, can we do it again?" So I said yes, same fee. So did it again, and this time my foot caught the stirrup coming out, and I twisted and I felt as though, I'm going to do my neck here, so I turned and busted the collarbone. So, but I was back 3 weeks later in the studio, brushing down a horse because I had a couple of lines. So, and then it was in, and I decided, sod this, I want to be an actor. It's easy, it's not as hard work. So that's it.
Andrew.
I find that bit even harder when I get asked to do them, by the way. Just the acting is the hard part for me.
Yeah.
For me, I grew up with some friends, and we used to make little films. So we had a summer school, And we used to make these little 10-minute shorts. People would be like doing like dance or poems and stuff, and we would just get together and make these little films. And I was quite sporty at school, and I was the most sporty out of the group of us, so I ended up doing what are now stunts, silly things like climbing fences and jumping up trees and falling out of cars and downstairs. So we did that for many years, just making films. So I've always been passionate about filmmaking, and then I actually became a musician throughout a few years later and toured with bands and played with lots of bands. And then once I finished that side of my career, I kind of wanted to look back at the two things I wanted to do as a kid was be a policeman or a stuntman. And I did policing as a special constable for 4 years, just before the Olympics. And I just found it wasn't the job that I thought it was. And then I just... a lot of paperwork in policing, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So I was never good at paperwork. So I thought I'd go and see what it is to how to be a stuntman. And so nowadays, like Derek mentioned, it's slightly different. So now there's a thing called the British Stunt Register, and that's kind of a list of qualified stunt performers that's backed by the Equity, which is our sort of governing body, as it were. And you have to have 6 disciplines at a very high standard, so your martial arts, your trampolining, gymnastics, all things relevant to falling and fighting. So once you've done your training, then you're on the list, and the coordinators who run the films and the TV shows then call you based on your attributes. Maybe you're a good gymnast and they need some gymnastics, or you might look like an actor, so you end up doubling that actor. So 10 years later, here I am.
Yeah. Did you double anybody?
I've doubled a few actors, yeah. Most recently, Mads Mikkelsen on Indiana Jones, the 5th one. We filmed that last year. And lots of other actors in between.
Yeah. Derek, did you double people?
No, I never. I did have doubles when I became an actor.
Did you?
Yeah. I did an episode of The Sweeney that Diana Dawes was in. They show a lot. And Frank, what was his name? He was the fire ranger on The Sweeney. They used to call him Pebbles because his glasses were like pebble bottoms, you know what I mean? But he was very good. And when I turned up to do this this scene with Dennis Waterman, he went, "Oh, it's you." Oh, he said, "I've got Steve Emerson here doubling for you." He said, "Let him jump off the shed onto Dennis, then you can take over, and it'll save the director a lot of cutting in for the double and everything else." So Dennis and me went to with a chain and a shovel. So
yeah,
it was good fun. So, but I'm glad I don't do it now. So
another actor, actually, most of you know it, Class. I doubled Corey Kynus on Class. So I did all the action in that. I know some of you don't like it or like it. I'm sure there's a difference of opinion on that show. But that was actually my first introduction to Doctor Who, was doubling Corey Kynus, and then I started from season 10 on Doctor Who onwards.
We had Paul Mark Davis here 2 years ago, and he said that. Do you remember? And he said that the costume was very, very, very hot, and that he was actually taken ill during filming. Did you have the rubberized costume as well? And that?
Yeah, we had the exact same costume as he did, and yeah, I remember stepping in for him on that occasion when he was ill, having to do a bit more than just the stunts, just looking mean in the background and stuff like that.
Okay. Did you do any aliens, or were you always unit soldiers?
I'd had a few lines.
Aliens.
Getting killed or...
No, sorry, I said aliens, not lines.
Oh, aliens, no.
Yeah.
No, I never played aliens, no.
Okay.
No, never no prosthetics or
No.
costumes like that.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Some people say I'm wearing a costume now. I'm an alien. My dog thinks I'm an alien, so...
Very good.
He barks every time I come in.
So, Andrew, you've done Cybermen and Jadoon. Any others?
Yes, Kablam Man, that was one. In the scene where he comes in, they're all looking at documents, and I go to punch one of the actors, and then they basically just break my neck off and the head just falls off. That was all CGI.
Yeah.
Still got my head.
Do you have to have a green stocking over your head or something like that?
I can't remember. I think they actually would just say, lie still and don't move your head.
Yeah.
So I did my reaction and then fell. And I think in post-production they just sort of take your head off and
Yes, I see.
frame by frame just to hit your head.
Yeah.
There's been quite a few other characters, but I'm finding it very hard to tell you what they're called.
No, don't worry. Okay, well let's hold it over. Can't talk today. Let's throw it open to the audience. So, ladies and gentlemen, questions for Andrew and for Derek, please. 1, 2. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes. We'll go 1, 2, 3.
I've got 2 questions, one for two of you and one for Derek. My first one for the two of you is, what's your favourite Doctor Who show that you've been in? Like the episode even.
For me, it has to be that iconic picture of season 10, episode 12, I believe, carrying Peter. That's quite an iconic picture, and at the time, it didn't actually realise it was going to be anything that it is now. And it was quite a tough one because the box comes out quite wide, so to carry someone, you want to bring them close to your body, so you use your abs and your muscles, your back muscles to hold them, but it ended up being kind of like this, and it was very awkward and very hard to hold, but that's quite a fond memory, and it was the first time I'd worked with that coordinator as well, so there was quite a lot of trust in me not dropping the lead star at the time, so that was mine.
Is Peter Capaldi heavy?
Well, he is 6'1", so he's going to have some weight to him.
Yeah. Okay. Derek. The question was favourite?
Favourite Doctor Who episode you've been in?
Favourite Doctor Who episode?
I did so many. I did 2 for William Hartnell, 2 for Troughton, 5 for Pertwee and 1 for Tom Baker. But they were all okay, except I found Hartnell was a little bit, say, grumpy and old. The thing is, I think with Hartnell, he's not here now, God rest him, but I always had that feeling, and watching him in films, that he played Sergeant Majors and that he was the English equivalent of James Cagney. But unfortunately, he was nowhere near Cagney. So, having worked with Cagney myself, no, I enjoyed, listen, when you're working, whether you'll be an actor or a stuntman, if you're working, that means you're getting coins in the pocket. And that's the name of the game. We do it for a living. We enjoy it, but we do it for a living. That's it.
And my second question for Derek, which show would you rather get back to, Doctor Who or EastEnders?
Say that again?
Would you rather if you had to go back, would you rather be in Doctor Who or EastEnders?
My bank manager would say EastEnders, yeah.
That's a good answer. We had a question in the middle, didn't we? No? Yes.
That's man, yeah.
Yeah.
What is the most dangerous stunt you've ever done?
Ooh.
And I'm terrible at remembering second questions.
Okay, we'll come back to the second question in a minute. So, most dangerous?
Most dangerous and most ambitious.
Okay, most dangerous, most ambitious. Who's going first?
For me, I did a stunt jumping out of a helicopter into an airbag. So there's quite a few complications when you do that. Obviously, the helicopter's always moving and the airbag isn't. So your timing has to be very, very important. That was 60 feet from a helicopter.
So how tall's this ceiling?
This is probably 20 feet.
So 3 times this height?
Yes, that's probably about 15 to 20 metres. So what we did is, what they wanted to do originally was, there was 2 of us. There's a helicopter, and we had an airbag one side and an airbag on the other side. And what they wanted is the helicopter to go in the middle, and I jump out of one side, and another chap jumps out the other. But obviously when my opportune moment to jump was perfect, it wasn't perfect for him, because it's always doing this. So we actually ended up doing one at a time, and so one came out this side, then the helicopter came this side of the bag, and then jumped out that side, and they just stitched the two together. Yeah, one take, and that was it, yeah.
See, years ago, they'd put a load of cotton clothes and stuff in a suit and chuck that out the helicopter, whereas now they chuck a real person out. So. But that's dangerous stunts. I don't know really. I suppose you could all say they were dangerous, because when we were doing them, we were mostly untrained. So it was chancing it, literally chancing it, and come off touch wood okay. So, yeah.
But a big contrast, isn't it? Because in your day, stuntmen were untrained, and
oh yeah, that's what I said. They're finely tuned athletes now, whereas before, if you could do something and hit your head and still stand up, you're okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think the only difference really is when you join the British Stunt Register, the aim of the skills is to make you a well-rounded performer. So you might not be the best at, say, horse riding, but you would have had a go at some point, whereas you guys were finding out on the job.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I fall down those stairs? Well, let's find out.
Yeah,
That's
right.
the attitude, I think.
You put knee pads on and whatever. I did a film, Norman Wisdom, I think it was called Trouble in Store, and he goes berserk with a fire hose, and there was about 3 or 4 of us dressed as firemen, and them powerful hoses that they got, and they're squirting and knocking you up down the stairs and everything, but we all had knee pads on and hip pads and getting soaking wet and everything else, and bouncing down the stairs. So that was a lot of fun, but and a lot of money.
That's the main thing, isn't it?